Hello, everyone. I had to start music up. So this was going to be me and Pagey, but Pagey is not available. So it's just going to be me. I'm just kidding. Pagey's here. Here he comes. He's returned.
And Ben.
Ben is here in spirit. or bad PNG file, maybe.
Bad juju. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. A couple different combinations there.
See, we're going to do a generic banner at the bottom. Why not? So Pagey has returned. I've returned on Saturdays. I took a couple weeks off. I was actually going to stream last week, but there isn't a lot. That's one of the things we've talked about. Actually, we talked about it last night before we streamed today. Like, there's just not a lot to discuss. I mean, there's a little tidbits of news here and there, but what the fuck? It's like,
well, yeah. I just remember when that strike ended and everyone was like, oh my god, there's gonna be this avalanche of news, and we're sitting there going no, there's fucking not. I bet you there's not. And there wasn't. There was that 3-day period where there's all that stuff from before, and then they just sort of trickled it out, and half of it wasn't even that big, but everyone was, it's almost like you're famished. It's just like normally a corn kernel isn't going to do it for you, but if you haven't eaten for 74 million years, it's the biggest thing of all time. So I'm not shocked that it's played out like this.
Yeah, which is why he's look. So he says sounds like him, but it's not him. No Eric Wallace interview in sight. I don't think he's doing anything right now. I don't think.
Do you think it's just one of those things where the ship's sailed? Where if the strike had ended maybe within 2 months after the Flash has ended, then he would have done something. But I saw something on. I think it might have been Twitter, but it was a couple of days ago was the 6-month thing since the Flash ended, which doesn't feel like it was 6 months ago. It feels like it was 3 months ago at most. But yeah.
So what we might do today, this is gonna be different. These streams are gonna be extremely laid back now for the time being. So I'll be live on Saturdays, but the topics are really gonna be sort of all over the place. So what we're going to do is I will watch trailers here on YouTube, which I don't normally do. But if you're not here live, you may not see them on the playback video, because what will happen is I'll get an email that'll say, oh, your video's been claimed and does it play in this country and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. So what we can do is we can watch trailers, but just know that they may not be here on playback. So that's really what it is. So we can watch some trailers, give our opinions on them. It's going to be super laid back. The after party will return sometime before Superman and Lois. But as for now, we'll talk more about that later. The channel is going to be very different for the next few months. Not in a bad way. I actually think in a really good way, because Pagey gave me some advice and we're gonna try it. The live streams are going to be, well, for now, the live streams will still be on Saturday. I just don't know, they're not going to be structured like the after party was. So we won't have this, it won't be topic. That's not really what we're going to do. But we can talk about stuff. We'll watch trailers, do a few other things. I think it'll be fun. Crazy Cat Lady, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas, Eric and Pagey, welcome back. Cool. What's funny is I was working last night and I wanted to play Christmas music, and people told me it was too early at the club to play Christmas music. So
I was going to say people were going to get offended, but
because they're not happy holiday songs.
No, there was a thing I think it was in Australia. Actually, it was probably America, but for some reason I feel it might have been Australia. But a shopping mall or a shopping center got to complain about playing Christmas music because it's not everyone celebrates Christmas.
Wait. They were complaining because of that? Oh.
Yeah.
How about that?
So I thought that might have happened to the club.
That's a little weird. No, I have a bunch of EDM music that's Christmas stuff, and I wanted to play it, but
can you give us a vocal example? Can I have a guess? Wait, what song is involved? Can you give me
there's a lot of them. Basically what it is.
One.
Okay, so imagine an Avicii song, right? Like a high energy Avicii track, but the melody is like Jingle Bells. That's kind of what it is, like a Jingle Bell EDM, dun, 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 dun.
So instead of it's the Jingle Bells.
Yeah, it's literally oh sometime, but then the background music is Jingle Bells. So
Jingle Bells.
Like,
is that a good rough example at least?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty rough. Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
can
pretty
use your
rough.
imagination from that point forward, I
Yeah.
guess. To
Uh-huh. There's a bunch of trailers today. Look, guys, what we'll do is Pagey and I, because there's no top, we don't really have topics. When I talked to Pagey last night, I was like, we're just gonna go live and whatever. But we can watch trailers. Like I don't have an issue with that. We'll watch some trailers and talk about them. Even though Pagey hasn't seen like Halo, we'll watch the trailer for Halo. But the thing is
I didn't see the Halo trailer. I
Right.
saw the Fallout trailer.
Right.
And I saw the boys, I think.
Mm. I know for a fact that stuff is getting claimed though, because I saw reaction channels saying that some of their trailers were being claimed. So I know they will be.
Yeah.
Just so like this video may be 20 minutes. Like it might be a 20-minute stream when we get done with it if we're watching trailers. So, but I don't have an issue with that. We'll watch some. Look, here we go. Lone Wolf. Did you see the Boys season 4 trailer? Actually, the funny thing is Pagey is not a fan of the Boys. I think you stopped watching in like season 2, isn't that? So
I watched season 2. I watched season 3. I think I did, or maybe I skipped a couple of episodes. I think I maybe asked, like, do I have to watch this or something like that? But I watched the ending because the ending's when like it goes all like Margot or something, doesn't it? And everyone's celebrating him.
Which one? Which season? Season 3?
3? Is that when Homelander like?
Oh yeah, because he's at a Homelander rally and he ends up like killing somebody or something like that.
Yeah, and everyone celebrates. So I watched the end of season 3.
So
I haven't watched that spin-off though. I haven't watched
seconds after the Boys trailer. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I look, I am not one of those people where I'm like, oh, it's fair use. It's not going to get claimed. I know better. And everybody that does reaction stuff should know better. That doesn't matter. They don't care. They're going to claim it anyway. And I'm not going to fight it because I don't give a fuck. So what I'll do is we'll watch it, we'll talk about it, and then if they claim it, it'll just get deleted from the stream. That's how I roll.
That's how I roll.
Yeah. So Comic Nation Gaming says I highly recommend. It's a different pace from the Boys. Talking about Gen V. Oh, Gen V. Oh yeah, I mean I did reviews on Gen V. I think you knew that already, but Pagey, I don't know, Pagey, have you seen Gen V?
No, I haven't watched anything from it.
That would require me to have watched that garbage film. Pagey and I talked. You want to talk a little bit about that for a moment? So like my thing is, and Pagey agreed with me, it looks like the lowest budget version of a copy of a already low budget like comedy. It just looks really bad. Like, yeah, I've seen clips from it. The clips are awful. Like it's pretty much like internet jokes stretched into a film. That's really all it is. So
yeah, it looks it just looks ass.
my trailer reaction got like so many views. I think it's like 34,000 views or something. It's ridiculous. But that reminds me of that show Ridiculousness. You remember that show? Did you ever watch that?
I know what the show is, but I never watched it.
So Ridiculousness was Rob Dyrdek and like a panel, and they just watched viral clips.
So like
it was kind of like
sort of.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was basically Tosh.0. Yeah, it was, but it was called Ridiculousness, and it ran. I think it might even still be on. Maybe not. I don't know. I do remember that was. Yeah, it was on for a minute. I actually used to watch it, and then I realized how stupid am I to watch them watching clips that I've already seen on the internet. Like, it was just really dumb. So, Comic Nation says, "Are you guys still planning on doing the old?" I even forgot that we had talked about that. Comic Nation Gaming, or did you? Was that one of the things you mentioned in your?
No, it was when we were going to do like Catwoman. And stuff,
yeah. I don't know about that. I mean, look, 2024 is going to be dry, so anything can
like happen. A watch this space situation.
Oh, it's still on the air. Wow,
is it? I'm surprised, but I guess it's a cheap show to make. So
yeah. So Growly Bear says, Eric, your short has picked up a lot of trolls. Good for engagement. Look, that's the thing that people don't understand on YouTube, and I think I made this very clear. Engagement is it. Doesn't matter if you're saying good shit, you're saying bad shit. It doesn't matter if you're right, you're wrong. It doesn't matter if you're getting ratioed. The only thing that matters on YouTube when it comes to success of a channel is engagement. That's it. That's it. It trumps everything. Not Donald Trump's everything,
Word.
but it still trumps everything.
What's that? Remember
So-
those Trump cards? Like the top Trumps.
Which? Well, yeah,
top
yeah.
Trumps?
Let's see if we got. I'm gonna look at my subscription to see what trailers are out. I know there's a few of them. You can go ahead and watch some of those. Are you seeing Godzilla -1? I know a lot of people are going out to see that.
I don't even know if
planning
it's
to
in
check that
theaters
out?
over here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a look.
Well, you guys get stuff late apparently. Oh, did you see Blue Beetle yet?
No.
Oh, it's available on streaming. I thought you were going to talk about it when we came back on.
No, I just haven't got around to watching it.
Oh my god.
Oh, how
I'm not saying anything. What trailer do you guys want us to watch first? The Boys? I mean, might as well go and get the copyright out of the way, I guess.
No, it's not out over here, at least yet. That Godzilla movie.
Right.
I don't know if it's
So
coming out.
everybody wants to watch The Boys first. Okay, so here's the deal. If you're watching this on playback, this trailer is almost 99.9% not going to be here. So if you're here right now, congratulations. You know, I'm actually watching Blue Beetle now on HBO Signature. Well,
What's HBO Signature?
I think it's the other like streaming service they have, but it's not available.
Oh,
That's
but
not available in the
not
United
Max.
States anymore.
Oh,
yeah, it's not
okay.
available in the US anymore. Where are you, Staggervor? Are you in the US? You don't have to tell me exactly where you are, but just tell me if you're not in the United States, because I don't think that's available here in the USA.
No, address, postcode, everything like that. Phone number, email,
Routing number, last
Yeah.
4 digits of your social,
credit
all that.
card digits, security code, all that.
You're in the USA, so I don't know where you're watching that at. We don't have HBO Signature here, so all right. Let's do this. Let's go and get this out of the way. Boys season 4 trailer.
100% getting. But if it gets claimed, it doesn't mean the stream goes down, does it?
I don't know. Let's test it out.
Well, if it does, expect a restart.
If it goes away, bye.
Reboot.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If this goes away, we will do another. We'll go live again. I'll do another stream. It's really stupid. We'd have to do that, but it'll probably get claimed though, which means that again, you won't see this on playback. I'm almost certain, because if it's getting claimed on other channels, it's definitely getting claimed here. Actually, let me see. Can I make it? No, that doesn't work either. Okay, never mind. All right. Right. So wait, are we saying people are getting strikes for this? Are people getting copyright strikes?
Well, no. If video is just getting claimed, or are they getting blocked? That's probably.
Yeah. Like, I need to know what happened to the channels you're watching, Canada Grass. I don't want to get a strike. So if this is causing channels to get strikes, I'm definitely not doing it. Just claims. Okay.
Is this like? Are we entering like severed penis territory? Like that's the big question.
Maybe. Actually, did you see YouTube updated their adult content guidelines? So like,
I know
you
that
can
like people can post like boobs and stuff now on YouTube.
yeah, it's weird. Like they really
Like
are.
I
becoming more
saw
lax.
a thing on. It had to be Twitter, because I think TikTok would have
Right.
banned it. But like people are posting like, don't get any ideas in regards to what to search after this. But like it's like people can post like see-through. I don't think you can be topless, but you can like post like see-through clothes.
Okay.
So if you wanted to wear, well, actually, you probably couldn't wear the chaps, but if you wanted to wear some like mesh shirt or some shit where nipples
I need if you guys are going to get my video claim with no money for watching this trailer, I need some super chats. So feel generous with the super chats, because I'm trying to change the topic. All right, here we go. Let's watch this trailer.
Rome, Greece. All democracies fail because people are fucking stupid.
So, before we get into this might spoil something with Gen V. Do you care? Because there might be something in
No,
here
I
from
probably won't
movie.
watch Gen V. I
Okay.
probably won't. Or if I do, it'll be a while from now. I'll forget whatever is spoiled here.
Okay. What was that?
It sounds like Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I will say
trying to
this:
like an
the
impersonation of
voiceover sounds really cheap to me. Like it sounds like a cheap voiceover. I don't know why. It
I
sounds
got,
like
I
somebody
got,
recorded
I've
from
got some thoughts which might be edgy, but we'll wait till.
Okay,
the
yeah, we'll wait
trailer's
till the end
over.
of it. Yeah, here we go. Let's do this.
Imagine a little.
Like Caesar.
Oh, maybe the voiceover was like a podcast or something. Maybe that's why it sounded that way. Because
And like it doesn't necessarily cross the line until they trip, if that makes sense. But I feel like The Boys is taking itself too seriously now. At least this trailer gives off that. And I did see, I didn't really have too many thoughts on it at the moment because I think it's like you have to wait till it trips. But did you see how they announced that spin-off, The Boys Mexico?
Yeah, I did see that.
But now it's becoming like The Boys is becoming a parody of what it was making. It was like it's sort of becoming what it was making fun of in earlier seasons with all the spin-off, like, you know, everything has its spin-off and everything like that. But I saw people criticizing that 100%, saying, "Oh, like The Boys is like, you know, they've jumped the shark," even though that's the wrong term to use in this situation. But it's only the case if they stuff it up. Like, you know, though I have issues with like specifically like season 3 and even like parts of season 2 with The Boys. Critically and for most fans, they like it.
Right.
So until it gets like a, I don't know, like
so you're saying that the point it reached for you, it has to reach for everybody else. Like they have to feel that way about it eventually.
Well,
right?
it's that I don't think you can necessarily say they're becoming what they were making fun of before until people stop liking it for the most part.
Right.
You know, like
and you don't think that's going to happen anytime soon?
I don't think it's going to happen because I think people don't necessarily care about what the story is of the show. I just think they like the tone. It is this, like, if The Boys wasn't swearing, had blood in it, would people watch it?
Probably not.
Probably not. So. Like it's the fact it is this like overly grotesque, explicit show.
Right.
Like, and that's what the comic was as well. That's why people read the comic. Even the comic's arse as well. Like the show is much better than the comic.
Yeah, so I haven't read the whole comic, but a lot of people say that the show is better than the comic book. The
comic's also incredibly dated. If you read it, no one would like, and the show goes in a different direction in regards to making it like, like explicit and over the top and stuff, rather than what the comic does, which borderlines on just weird stuff.
I think that the idea of what The Boys was in the earlier seasons, like sort of poking fun at everybody, because it's kind of like Family Guy and you know, South Park. Like it doesn't really pick a side. It just kind of makes fun of like everything. Like the idea of progressiveness gets made fun of. The idea of conservatism gets made fun of. Like it kind of goes to the extreme of all of it.
Well, they balance on that thing of like the show in particular of like the satire aspect of it, but also embracing what the medium is at the same time. Yeah. Like I think I heard Seth Rogen say it. He was like, I think he mentioned the Marvel stuff. It's like, hey, we couldn't made the show without the Marvel stuff. Like that had to existed, like all the MCU stuff, and had to be successful. Otherwise, no one cares about this show. People care about it. Like people watch it because it is this like antithesis, if you want to put it, in regards to what the MCU does. And it's like, you know, like there's similarities, but there's also there's opposites as well, or extremes to each other.
I'm trying to think like when I talked, this is really funny because when I I think it was the second season when I was talking about the show, I talked about how the gore sometimes goes too far for me because I'm not a big like blood and guts kind of person. Like it's not my favorite shit to watch. Like that's why I couldn't watch Snowtown, because it was just fucking so much blood and shit and gross stuff.
Did you watch the bath? Speaking of Snowtown, did you ever get to the bathtub?
I don't bring it up because I don't want to think about it.
So you've watched the entire thing. You just don't like to think about it.
I just don't like it. Right. Yeah. So
bathtub scene, Snowtown.
For me, I said when I was watching The Boys, I don't think all of the violence was necessary for me personally, but I also realized that it is an integral part of what The Boys is as a series. Like like a lot of their moments lead up to that, I don't know, sensational, like gory moment. I mean, if you were to tell me like Gen V, a lot of the stuff in Gen V was great storytelling and there were gory moments, but then sometimes they poke fun at it. There's a scene in Gen V where it's supposed to be really gory, but they turn into puppets. And so all the blood and guts is done through like puppetry, which I think is pretty interesting. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if people would watch The Boys without all the blood and guts. I don't know if they would.
It definitely wouldn't be as popular. Like it definitely take like a far step down.
It makes me think of that
someone-
Netflix show. What was it? Jupiter Rising or something like that? Jupiter's Legacy, whatever.
Ascending, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Or is that the shit Wachowski movie?
No. I don't know.
Legacy. Jupiter's Legacy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Either way, that was a very different take on superheroes that was more like serious or whatever. Jupiter's Legacy, right? But it wasn't as violent. You know what I mean? So if you want to look at something that had a similar tone but wasn't as gory and violent, that would be the show to look at.
Yeah.
So
Well, Maddie said, what did Maddie say in the chat? He said, this may be a hot take, but I prefer when it takes itself more seriously. I do as well. And that was season 1, where it sort of balanced the satire and was this sort of, I don't want to say it was like overly serious. Like it was still like a comedy to an extent, but it balanced the satire a bit more. Like I don't like it when, and I still, you know, it's not like I dislike season 2 and 3 of Boys. It's just that I much prefer what they did in season 1 compared to season 2 and 3. However, the show got much popular in season 2 and 3 than it was in season 1. Like it built some momentum, and people I think enjoy the show more what it is now than it is then. So just how I am, like I'm just in the minority in regards to what I prefer that the show does.
I'm probably in the minority that doesn't care about all the blood and guts. You know what I mean? Like I
don't think The Boys goes too far. They they cut away a lot of the time as well. Like if someone like sticks their hand in someone, they
I mean, I guess you could say that. Yeah. Comic Nation says,
it's like
you can only get away with the satire stuff for so long. I prefer the serious tone with the gore aspects similar to Watchmen or Invincible. Okay, yeah. So I know this is maybe crazy. I don't know if Pagey's ever talked about this. I know we brought it up before. I actually really like the Watchmen movie. I know that it's got issues, but I think it's a good movie. Do you like the Watchmen movie at all, or no?
I think if you haven't read the novel, it's probably a good movie. But I think in regards to an adaptation, I think it's a bit messy.
Do you think it should have taken more? Like, I don't think you can fit everything in the book into that movie.
I think it's just more that like there's the different mediums. Like Watchmen was written to be a graphic novel. Like sometimes these things don't translate at least in regards to adapting it. Like because what Snyder did, which I credit to him for doing it the way he wanted to do. He pretty much just made it like a straight adaptation outside of the ending. Right. Like he changes the ending.
I don't like the way the ending was changed though from the book. No, so I prefer the graphic.
That was probably his biggest error, was changing the ending. I don't know why he did that. But I know they got that animated Watchmen movie coming out this year, so next year, might I say. So maybe that fixes that.
So Lone Wolf likes the writing of the characters. Yeah, I think the writing of the characters is good as well. I think one of my issues with the writing though is that the characters have almost become predictable. That's one of my issues with the Boys. Like when Homelander's in a situation, you know what he's going to do. So it's going to go with the most extreme thing. Like if there's something that could possibly happen, that's what he's going to do. You know what I mean? And I wish that it wasn't so predictable. Oh, Lance is, the Boys are back together again. I could cry. Are you talking about us or the Boys trailer?
Maybe both. Maybe a combination.
Anthony Starr won't voice Homelander in MK1. I mean, voice actors sometimes do characters that they aren't the actors from the movies. I mean, Chris Evans doesn't always voice Captain America. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised they wouldn't just take clips from the show. I mean, if they got the rights to use the character, you think they'd just get. But then again, maybe they want specific things like him saying something, like mentioning a character's name or something like that. I don't know.
Bob of the Always says both Watchmen endings were cringe in my opinion. I understand why Snyder changed it, but his replacement wasn't better. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. I think what Snyder was doing with Watchmen, and I'd have to go back and look at some of the interviews from that period though, is the only character that was sort of like beyond like in terms of power level is obviously Dr. Manhattan, and then everybody else is sort of street level. And that was kind of the play on power with like you have this character that is like Superman versus a bunch of Batmen. Is pretty much what it was.
Did you see the thing that Nolan said where like Watchmen was ahead of its time? And I was wondering, though I think the movie's fine. Like I think it's probably one of Snyder's better movies. At least DC, I think it's probably his best one. Probably because there was less pressure on him as well to do it.
Oh wait, you think Watchmen is his best DC
probably
movie?
I haven't watched it in ages. The thing is, I watched it in theaters when it first came out, and then I didn't watch it again until I got like the ultimate spectacular 74 million hour version, because he released like 4 different director's cuts for that movie.
I know.
There's like the director's cut, the the ultimate cut and then the ultimate director's cut or some shit. I got that final one.
Yeah.
God, but that was the second time I watched it, and that version's much better. But if it was
What
in
about the
theaters-
director's cut of the Snyder cut? It's going from 4 hours to 8 hours. You're gonna watch that one?
Yeah, it's called. I think it's called like early onset narcolepsy. I think that's what I think that's the subtitle of that thing. But I was wondering, do you think if that movie, whether it was Snyder or not, just Watchmen, like that movie came out now, it would be as popular as The Boys? Because that movie didn't do well. Like it didn't. I don't know if it flopped, but it like borderlined on it. I'm pretty sure from memory.
Lone Wolf $2 super chat. Now we just need Jared. I believe he said he's down. Wait, and for The Boys, is that what we're talking about? Jared Padalecki.
Oh, okay. I was like, who the fuck is Jared?
Yeah, with an O. I think. Like, correct me, Lone Wolf. Are you talking about like Jared Padalecki? Because I mean, I think you are. But yeah, absolutely. All right, let's watch the trailer for Fall. Did you ever play the Fallout games?
I think the closest one I got to finishing was New Vegas.
Okay. So there's a trailer for the Fallout series coming to Amazon. I saw the promo photos, and I actually made a video about this yesterday on my other channel. But I didn't. The trailer wasn't out yet. I should have waited one day. Anyway, we'll watch the trailer here. Again, same shit. It's probably going to get claimed. So, it is what it is. Let's watch the trailer. And the chat can let me know because you guys might have already seen the trailer. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. But is this based on any of the games, or is it a 100% story made up for the show? Do you know, Pagey?
I was going to say it looks like Fallout 4.
Yeah, and that's one that I
especially
haven't
that
played.
intro
I haven't
thing.
played Fallout 4.
That's the most recent one. I played a decent amount of that, but once again, because those type of games, like you have to like immerse yourself, and I was just like, I was always jumping between different
Fallout
things.
2 and Fallout New Vegas were the ones I played the most amount of time on.
This looks, I don't know, to me, like on like a first thing, it just looks a bit.
So
like
they said it's an
Fallout
original
4.
story.
It looks like it's set in California.
Yeah, let's see.
When I watched the trailer, they had like Venice Beach or something.
You need to go home.
I know
think you would be willing to.
So, did you ever play
the
Fallout
creatures-
76? The online
No,
one?
the online one, no. No.
I heard that was the
Why?
nightmare at the beginning. So,
Oh,
'cause it was
yeah,
just
I heard
a
it was.
bad game.
I heard it was a fail. Like, yeah, they just didn't.
Yeah.
I think like the idea was decent, but the execution wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Do what it takes to survive up here. If you insist on staying, then you will have to adapt.
Caden James.
It is, yeah. So that's funny. I wanted to point out one of the things I really appreciate is it seems like more of the game creators, or at least the people behind the games, are involved with these TV shows and movies, which I think helps them be better because,
Yeah.
I mean, some maybe not always, but I feel like having input from the people that made the stories.
Well, I think it's like it should be like obviously you get people who know how to make a series or a movie or whatever it is, and know how to structure and how to write and everything like that.
Right.
But I think you see with like even just like books and stuff like that, I think having that person there can say, hold on, that's not necessarily how either a character should be portrayed or how this thing should be, like almost like a consultant essentially.
Right.
You make him a producer for the sake of it. But yeah, like, and that's the thing. Whenever you see that someone who's like either like the original author of the book or video game creator, like the main person behind it, and they're attached to it, like it makes you a bit more confident for whatever they're planning to do.
And another thing is that I think an issue I have is that the gameplay sometimes is so integral to the story, like it doesn't feel like it's disconnected. Like with Last of Us, it was really hard to like incorporate scenes from the game that connect into the story with the story of the show. So I think they did a pretty good job of that too. Let's see so easily now they put these songs in it that it like immediately.
And this is a song. Is this Nat King Cole?
Yeah, but the other thing is that people in the comments are talking about this. Like, this will get claimed 100% as well. I mean, not even because of the trailer, but because of the song. Probably. I'm not even going to bother to deal with that anymore. Like I said, if you guys want to see us react to trailer after that, sometimes they put these little. No, that's it.
No, it's like the end.
Thing. All right, so I think it looks really good. I mean, a lot of people were talking about how it was going to be awful. I think it looks pretty good for a TV show. I mean, I have to say, Amazon for the most part, does a good job of making stuff look expensive, and I think that's important when you're doing something like this. So for me, I think it looks really solid. I like the Fallout world, so it looks like the Fallout world to me. I don't know if it's going to tie in because the games kind of have a history behind them, like a lore behind them. So I don't know if this is going to like insert into like somewhere between a game, or if it's just this is the Fallout world and we're starting from like the beginning, sort of.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, like like I've played, as I said, like I've played a decent amount of the games, but like nothing ridiculously major. I wouldn't say I'm like a massive fan of it, where I'm like, oh, when's the next one coming out? But it looks good, Like I'm just still like, what video games do you want turned into movies? Because like,
oh gosh,
the one I've been wanting for ages, and it keeps getting fucking teased, and I have a feeling it's never going to get made. But I need Gears of War to be a movie. Like,
that would be a good one.
I remember not Gears 1, but Gears 2, 3, and 4. It was like when they came out, me and my mates got on, we did co-op and stuff like that. I remember playing Gears 2. I think Gears 2, I think it was Gears 2 or 3, and one of my mates started crying on one of the characters.
Really?
Yeah. And those games were mad, and then the online was really good as well. Like, it was a hard game, Gears of War online as well. You had to like, God,
so Fetman says they said it'll be between games, so I'm wondering which two it's between.
Maybe. Well, it looks like it's showing like the start of the like the nuclear fallout,
right?
As well,
but that might be a flashback. I mean, clear that's gonna be a flashback, right?
Well, it shows Walter Goggins, so I mean, maybe he's the character, like the viewpoint of the flashbacks. I mean, it could be an opening scene. Like a lot of times they just do an opening scene.
So Feather Garden says Tekken and Street Fighter. They tried a Street Fighter that didn't go too well. I think there's a Tekken one floating around in there somewhere.
They're doing Street Fighter again. So
yeah, Metal Gear, South Texas Shark. Good to see you. Metal Gear and Overwatch.
Didn't they do Metal Gear?
Did they? I didn't see it. If they did,
am I wrong? I swear they did Metal Gear.
Action Pack says Gears of War is perfect for a movie adaptation. So
it's so like, especially if you do like. You could do Gears 1, 2, and 3 as like a trilogy, or you can combine, like that main story there with Gears is mad.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto. I don't even know how you would make Grand Theft Auto a game. Like a movie. How you would do that? Like,
what I'd love, but the game itself was pretty much like a movie. But LA Noire, did you ever play LA Noire?
Yeah, I did. I
love that game. I think I honestly think that's Rockstar's best game. LA Noire.
The Halo trailer isn't that important. Like, I don't think there's a lot of great things in that. So I don't know if you guys want me to watch that. Somebody's gonna have to super chat me. Sorry, because I'm already getting hit with a bunch of.
What other video games could there be? What did I play as a kid? Or even recent.
Kid Icarus and Metroid. Metroid would be very cool, honestly.
Weren't they making? Wasn't that
I thought they were. I thought they were. Honestly.
Not too sure.
We can watch the Furiosa trailer. I watched that on my live stream the other night. We can watch it here. That will 100% get claimed as well because I know that because I had to take it out of my other video. So, let's watch it there. I'll get it queued up.
There's been like 3 Doom movies, haven't there? There was one only a couple of years ago.
Did Pagey enjoy his racing game movie? The Gran Turismo, I guess, is what he's talking about.
I never saw that. Racing game. I never saw that. That movie looked ass.
I mean, that is the game they're talking about, I'm assuming, Gran Turismo.
I'm assuming so. What else came out?
Philip says Mega Man. I wonder how that would look as a movie, honestly. I mean, it would have to be like a Illumination or a Pixar movie, I would guess.
God. I bet you there's like a really good one that I'm just completely missing. Actually, it would be decent like that. I guess maybe it's too. I guess you could still do it, but the Infamous games on PlayStation, but maybe it's like a superhero because that was like that was before the superhero like big bubble thing, when like before the MCU started and stuff like that. Infamous.
So draw with
I think it's a game.
Cameron Smith says they should do a movie adaptation of Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. I like the story and I would love to see an adaptation of it, whether live action or animated. I don't care. I think if we see that, it's going to be because James Gunn is pushing for it, and it would probably be animated if I had.
Yeah, I was gonna say It'd be like one of those animated movies, yeah.
Which I don't care. I mean, I'd be okay with that, but it's definitely it's only going to happen if James Gunn pushes for it. And I can imagine he would probably want it to be weird and wacky, like most of the stuff that he does.
You know what would be a good movie? Courier Crisis. Did anyone ever play that game on the first
No.
PlayStation? I gotta look at. Hold on.
Gosh.
Courier Crisis.
Splinter Cell would be a great game too, probably, but I feel like they'd want to do more in that world than just Splinter Cell.
Here we go. Hold on, Eric. Shut your mouth.
All right, see you later, Hell's Bells. Sleep good.
Click on that and watch that. I used to play the shit out of that when I was younger.
Okay, let's see.
This was my Crazy Taxi. I think everyone was playing Crazy Taxi. I was playing Courier Crisis.
Wait, this is a 1 hour video.
Well, we're not watching the entire thing. Just like sort of like skip to like 10 minutes in or something.
All right, here we go. Let's do this. This will definitely get a copyright strike. Just kidding. All right, so we'll just kind of skip through it or whatever. Wait, hold on. It's a biking game?
Yeah, you're like a courier in like I guess like New York, and you gotta deliver packages, but you gotta like
For some reason when you said Courier Crisis, I thought it was gonna be something different. I don't know why.
No, it's like you're a courier.
Got it.
You do tricks and stuff.
This looks ridiculous. Everything looks the same. How did you play this?
It was the PS1.
No, I know, but like, how did you like? I don't understand there's no significant landmarks or anything like that.
I don't know. Yeah, like you just had to do that.
You can kick people over.
Yeah, you're just like an asshole of a courier. You just had to deliver. Like your main thing was to deliver things and do it as quick as possible.
Jeez.
Yeah, he gets
Those
air.
complete like I was gonna say like straight out of the no ramp, no nothing, just straight up in the air jumps.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Go to the game, and it had a good soundtrack. You can hear it.
I was gonna say well, so I was joking when I said it was gonna get claimed, but now it probably will. Soundtrack in it. The screams I cannot. Yeah, all of that. All right, here we go. I've looked it up. All right, let's watch this Furiosa trailer. Get this out of the way because I know that this is also going to get claimed. Anyway, I want to say this. I've seen a lot of people complaining about this movie being like girl boss or whatever, like woke and whatnot. I'm like, are you kidding me? This movie, a George Miller movie based in the world of Mad Max, like that's a little stupid. But
stupid in the internet era. Oh,
I know. What am I expecting out of the internet? Let's see this one here. So I want to point out that it seems like, based on the trailers we're seeing, that although 2024 is going to be light on superhero movies, it looks like a lot of other stuff is coming out though. Like we're gonna have a lot of
like big blockbusters and stuff like that. Like like Warner Brothers themselves have this, Dune, Godzilla vs Kong,
which is going to be massive. That's going to make so much money.
And I think something else. There's another big one they have.
I don't know. Godzilla vs Kong has a lot to live up to because apparently Godzilla -1, which I'm going to see this week, is extremely good. So let's see. Okay, so one of the complaints I saw about this, and as we watch the trailer, I guess people can pay attention to it, but I've heard that people say the green screen still looks a little wonky in this trailer, and I'm wondering if it's because it's not finished yet.
Well, I don't know, but I saw people go like, oh, how did they go from Mad Max Fury Road, which had this like big epic scale and stuff like that, to this? And the answer's pretty simple. Like, I feel like, I guess the people complaining were born yesterday because it was well documented, not only when the movie was being made, but when it was coming out, and even after things, when like they won all those Oscars, it was so difficult to make. Like it was like time, money, and everything like that. Like nature, where they're filming and stuff. in that. Like they had to move the film
because that was actually filmed in Australia, correct? I mean, that's where
no,
that movie
Mad Max
was.
Fury Road wasn't. This was Furiosa was. All the other Mad
Okay.
Maxes were, but Fury Road had to move to Africa. So I think I don't know where. I think Tunisia. I know somewhere in Africa because it rained for the first time in like years, like decades, in the spot they're meant to do. And look, it has to be a world with like no water. And
Right.
it completely grained it out and stuff like that. So they couldn't film where they were meant to film. So they had to move it to Africa, which cost money as well. They didn't like hire all these different people and everything like that.
Right.
So they realized that they can't do that. So like this, for example, like or like that shot where like before she's walking up, it's like you can tell she's probably like on a volume stage or something like that,
Right,
in front of a green screen.
I want to say
Because
this.
they
I
had
think
to do that.
the volume stage is still such a new technology. I think it's going to get better, but it's going to take time for it to get better.
Well, the thing is that like a lot of the times you can just tell when something's like you can try and make something look as real as possible, but like unless it's like you're really like you're a close up of something, you're just seeing their top half, you're probably going to tell it is basically just what they're walking on and or what they're walking towards or whatever it is.
Let's continue with this here.
It's George Miller.
I think the reason why people are thinking it looks really fake is because the text is kind of breaking up the shot. Like if that text wasn't there, I don't think it would look as fake to everybody, to be honest.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. He looks with this nose, he looks like another Australian actor who's in a bunch of stuff. And George Miller just hires Australian actors. So I thought this was this other Australian actor. It was like, God, he bulked up for it.
I'll
and then
be
he started
honest,
speaking. I was like, oh no, this is Chris Hemsworth.
It took me a minute because I felt like dysphoric when I was watching him because I'm like, wait, that voice is not this person, right?
Hold on, I'll try and find the actor.
Okay. Well, either way, like I saw this and I'm like, is that fucking Chris Hemsworth? Like, is it really him? Because I didn't even know he was supposed to be in the movie, to be honest.
Okay. This is the actor. He's
okay.
I'll try. I'll get the photo.
Yeah, send it to me and I'll pull it up and then we'll finish the trailer. He's bigger than he was as Thor. Well, I think a lot of that has to do with this movie having a lot more practical stuff in it. And a little secret is if you've got any kind of muscle definition and you oil yourself up, Pagey knows all about this. You oil yourself up. It makes your muscles pop a little bit more. That's why a lot of bodybuilders cover themselves in oil. So my tip is if you want your body to look sexier, go get some oil, just rub it all over yourself, and then go out for a night on the town.
That's who I thought it was.
Oh my God. He does.
It's another Australian actor.
Like
and that's who I
beard.
thought it was. Yeah, that's who I thought it was. And I was like, oh, it's like, okay. And then he started talking. He's like, oh no, that's Chris Hemsworth.
I see it now. Yeah. So let's like I'm gonna leave that. Wait, hold on. I was gonna.
I took it away.
No, there we go. Yeah, so I can see it. It literally,
bring it back up.
It literally looks like it looks like that guy, but with like longer hair and a longer beard. Here we go. Look, there's this one. This one. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah.
No wonder you were confused. Yeah. Omega says oiling yourselves up. Now we're talking. That's why wrestlers look all oily too. Yeah. So I haven't watched Good Burger 2, but I have seen pictures of like the on set. And I work around people that do makeup for a living, and the amount of makeup those actors have on their face, like the foundation they have on to like look young again, is so much that it's like, wait a minute, is it that obvious in the movie that they're wearing that much makeup? Anyway, let's shot right here. With him on this little like chariot, that looks like Thor from the back.
Yeah,
I was like, that looks like Thor. And I'm wondering, do you think they did it sort of as a Easter egg? Like George Miller was like, it would be funny if we put him in a red cape or whatever.
Is his character's name like the General or something like that?
Yeah.
So maybe it's like meant to be like a chariot.
No, I got that part, but I was just wondering if the color of the cape was because hold on, let me see.
Yeah, it looks blood stained. Looks like it's
probably. I would guess that's probably what it is. Let's see what his character's called. Well, no, it's a Morton Joe is the name of the character. But,
okay.
You know, so.
Potato.
Yeah, it's close enough. So a couple things is, and were you a fan of like the OG Mad Max movies, like 1, 2, 3, those films? Did you like them or you not?
I mean, I watched them when I was younger.
I think a lot of people forget what the first movie was like in terms of the way it was filmed, like the campiness of it. It was a very like campy,
very campy. Like it was
right.
very cheap. It was like
when people think of Mad Max, they think of Mad Max 2, the second movie. They think of that one. That's the one that a lot of people think of. Yeah, you go and you look at the first
one's like it's like a small Australian film,
and it's in a small town. It doesn't look totally dystopian like the other movies look like. But they forget that there's a campiness to Mad Max. Like Beyond Thunderdome has Tina Turner in it. They're very campy movies. So it's not, they've never been these like
people forget even Fury Road has Nicholas Holt's character like huffing spray paint. Like
so this idea, like you come into this movie,
guy,
like, it looks like there's too many silly moments. I'm like, have you not watched the other Mad Max films?
It just even you can just go back and watch Fury Road. Like you got like these like albino dudes, like one's shredding a guitar on while they're insane. Like that's the whole point. They're meant to be this like outlandish, like epic sort of movie.
Yeah.
Like especially now, but it's like built up from that original movie. Like if anything, this is taking a bit of a back seat, but we don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
In the actual film.
Where's this at? I had one more thing I wanted to chat about before we sort of talk about the future. So okay, here we go. You remember this past week, all of the drama surrounding Disney, Bob Iger, all the comments he made about the films and the future of Disney and what they've done wrong, et cetera, et cetera. You saw that, right? So a lot of people theorized that he was saying a lot of this stuff because he was exiting the company. Did you see that he actually is like leaving?
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it says here, Bob Iger has confirmed plans to exit the company in the near future. The Disney CEO said the succession plans process is robust right now, and he'll definitely exit after his recently extended contract expires at the end of 2026. So it basically, he doesn't care, really. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter if he's in the process of exiting. He probably doesn't want to get his hands too dirty before he leaves. So that's why he's sort of pulling out a lot of stuff. Because think about it, like when Bob Iger came back to replace Bob Chapek, there was a lot of drama surrounding like streaming services and movies and day and date releases and Pixar and all that other shit. So I think he wants to have his record as squeaky clean as possible when he leaves in 2026. So he's like, I don't want to take any risk because if I take a risk and I falter, it could affect my exit package. You know what I mean? It could affect the money that I take with me. So he's thinking like the next 2 years, he just wants to sort of like coast along in Disney. So it makes sense to me now because all the stuff he was saying seemed really antithetical to like what Disney was. Like he talked about the messaging, right? Like, oh, well, we want to get back to just telling good stories. Disney's always had messages in their movies and stuff. Like that's pretty much what it's been forever. So to act like Disney made movies that didn't have messages is just, I mean, did you watch Disney at all as kids? I mean, there were always environmental messages or some sort of social message or something, because that was what they wanted to do. They wanted to like help kids. So they wanted things to mean something. So when he said all that, I'm like, that seems really weird. I mean, I know what he was talking about. He's basically talking about all the people that complain that Disney is trying to, be woke and stuff. But at the same time, Disney has always been sort of woke. They've never really spoken to conservative viewpoints. It's always been sort of like progressive stuff because having princesses help themselves and like even something like Snow White or Beauty and the Beast calls back to that. So it's just weird to me now that he said all this stuff. He put out this scathing interview with, I think it was Variety. I think it was a Variety interview, but and I could be wrong on that one, but he put out that interview and then he announces that he's going to be exiting. So sort of makes sense to me. Do you think David Zaslav is leaving Warner Brothers at any point or no?
I just think if anything, it's that Warner Brothers gets sold, but not Discovery. Like it's just the actual Warner Brothers aspect of it. But yeah, like his whole thing about like the thing where he said about the messages is sort of like, I mean, the two biggest movies of this year have messages.
Yeah. Barbie and Oppenheimer. And It's so to me, look, I will say what I think the problem with Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and stuff is, and I think they're a little bit different for each one. I think the Pixar problem is that Pixar is 100% family movies. That's what they are. They're made for you to take your kids to. That's what they're designed around. And when you release them on home streaming so quickly after they're in theaters, guess what mom and dad are saying? Oh, I don't have to pay $15 a ticket for the entire family to go see a movie when I could just wait 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Or not even go to theaters. Sometimes it comes out around the same time. Like it'll come out on Disney Plus the same time it's in theaters. So I think when it comes to Pixar, that was the big problem. I don't think it was a lack of quality. I think they put out some good movies. I think Pixar's done some good stuff. I think it was really just about money. Families don't have a lot of money. So you're dealing with a situation where if you have more than a couple of kids, you're spending a lot of money to go to the movies. That's what I think the problem is with the animated stuff. As far as like Marvel goes, you know what I think Marvel's issue is they need to bring these budgets down for their movies. That's the problem.
Yeah. Quite large.
Because think about it. If they came out with a movie that was like $100 million production, right? Something that comes out at a more moderate scale, and the movie only makes $170,000 in the box office, you're still not totally in the red. You know what I mean? And but when you spend $250,000 on a movie, and I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, or 250 million, I should say, not thousands, 250 million, a movie, and you're going into it with a massive risk. Like he said that they talked about how their expectations were that all of the Marvel movies were going to make $1 billion at some point. And I'm like, that's a bad expectation.
That's almost like naive.
Who thinks that?
It just is naive. It's just naive because, like, fair enough. Like, I think everyone expects if an Avengers movie comes out, it makes $1 billion. At this point,
but that makes sense though. That makes sense in my head. Like I can see that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But like if you're releasing Thunderbolts, for example,
right?
Or Thunderbolts. We'll just use Thunderbolts as an example. Your goal should be 600 mil,
right?
Or break maybe 500. Break that. So
I would adjust your budget. Should be like we're very happy. If it made 600, that should be like ecstatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it, especially if you're releasing 2 or 3 of the movies a year, like you definitely cannot expect them to all make $1 billion, or for some to like even approach that $2 billion or whatever it might be. But like you just got to adjust it. Like, especially when you look at the movies and go like, how did this cost so much? Like you look at some of those like other movies which cost a lot. Like okay, I can understand why, because they might have had to build a goddamn city somewhere to do it or whatever it might be. But then you watch something.
Well, also with Avengers movies, you have so many actors. You have so many people you have to pay to be in that movie because it's an Avengers movie.
Which includes, and for each actor, they have a stunt double, a stand-in, probably like an assistant on set for them. Right. And then you're probably hiring more clothing people and more hair and makeup and everything. So everything gets like, doubled or tripled or whatever it is. So, yeah.
So for me, I think the biggest thing is that if you're going to take a risk with a property, you need to bring that money down. You need to bring that investment down into it and make it more realistic. Because, like, look at Deadpool 1 and 2. Both of those movies were made for less than $100 million, and they're both fantastic movies. I think you can do that if you're telling a solo superhero story. Why does it have to be 250? And even with the Marvels, which look, I like the Marvels, but let's be honest here. These budgets are wild. 200.
What was the budget for that?
I think it ended up being like, let me double check. I think it's like 240 or something.
What, 240 budget?
I think it ended up being 240.
I know they had to build stuff, but it was all set stuff. Like surely that looked like it was filmed like 95% on a set.
Okay, so the budget for that was 219. So 220 million was the budget for that, right? I don't see it in that movie. Like I've seen movies that, because think about it, that budget, let's take a look at let's do the Avengers. Let's do Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron. I want to see what the budget was for that one, because that will give me a better idea of this. So Age of Ultron had, God, where's it at? All right, so Age of Ultron, which was the second Avengers movie, after it's all said and done, including advertising, cost about 360 million because of 260 plus the actual advertising budget comes up to like 360. So a movie like that, subtracting advertising, is like 260. So the Marvels only cost 40 million less to make than Avengers Age of Ultron. And I'll be honest, I don't see where that money went.
Yeah. It's just
is Samuel L. Jackson that expensive? Is he that expensive that they had to spend that amount of money? I don't know.
Yeah, and like I don't like obviously like the other two characters outside of Carol Danvers and stuff. I highly doubt those two actresses were getting paid too much for like that specific movie. Like stuff afterwards would be where it starts increasing. So like your only like expensive person would have been Brie Larson, I'm assuming.
Right.
But we don't know if that was a part of her contract, so maybe it wasn't that expensive.
And I also want to point out that the cost of these movies and stuff like that with actors and everything, it fluctuates because it really depends on who the lead is for the movie, who they're paying the most money. Because Robert Downey Jr. was extremely expensive. He was the highest paid, I think the highest paid Marvel actor out of all of the people that have been on there. And the other thing is that we're talking about the production budgets or whatever. I think we discussed this a while back, but when you look at like the Disney live action animated stuff where they take like Beauty and the Beast and Lion King and stuff like that, all it takes is a couple of like $1 billion+ films for them to justify making 5 of those. So if you make 5 of them and only 2 of them make over $1 billion, it doesn't matter what the other 3 made. It doesn't matter. So it's the same way with the Marvel movies. That's why people talking about the death of Marvel. This movie is the first massive underperforming movie that Marvel has had since Marvel has been making it big. This is not going to be the death of Marvel.
Like this,
just not.
No. Like your death of Marvel is like, the death of Marvel is when you get to X-Men and they release the first X-Men movie, and all of a sudden maybe it's not as bad as the Marvels, but let's say it makes 75 opening weekend, and they've been going, this is meant to be it. Because I guarantee you, those 2 Avengers movies, maybe that Kang Dynasty doesn't make $2 billion, but Secret Wars, that shit's making $2 billion because it's just going to be cameo fest.
Doctor Doom is going to be in it too, and everybody's waiting for Doctor Doom. So,
and they're not going to do a Spider-Man No Way Home. They're going to make sure who some of the people are, and then you just like, well, I don't want to be spoiled on who the other surprises are. So
I also want to point out that Marvel already knows. Marvel already knows if all the stars align, right, that when they release their first X-Men movie, it's going to be $1 billion movie, most likely. And I also have a feeling that Deadpool 3 is going to make a ton of money.
Yeah, I think Deadpool's the one where I don't know if that's a guaranteed billion, but it's definitely like Thor: Love and Thunder money. Like that made
just
over
out of curiosity,
800 in it. And my only thing of that is that it's like, if it's not advertised to be specifically MCU, it might turn some people off, because apparently it's not meant to be MCU. Like it's really just meant to be pretty much the Fox stuff, and then like right at the end it connects to the MCU.
Yeah, the budget for that is 110 million, so it's definitely going to make its money back. There's no way it doesn't make its money back.
So Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor: Love and Thunder made 800 million. I thought it did. I was like, it was either high 700s or it did cost 800. So yeah, that's where, or it could be like Multiverse of Madness, like even either side of one bill.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania still made their money back. It wasn't a complete total loss for them. The Marvels is the first one that's been like a total loss, I think, in money.
Like I saw someone say, like, back in the day, like a 50 million was domestic opening was really, really good, regardless of what the movie was. And the issue is, we've talked about this before, it's just the aftermarket's dead. Like there's no
Blu-ray market anymore or anything like that.
There's no Blu-ray, there's no Blockbuster where all that different things, like, it's unfortunate as well. Like I've been campaigning in my head, so no one else is hearing it, but may as well hear it now. Bring them back. Fuck the streaming services. They're getting too expensive. I'm still waiting for this.
Did you see what happened with PlayStation?
They took away the digital. No, it was like the Discovery thing or something like that.
Yeah. But they also, people are worried now because they're like, if you pay for something, they can just be like, oh, now you don't have access to it anymore.
Yeah,
even though you pay,
and that's why I always bought physical media, because there's even like I had to buy something on physical media because my older sister had recommended this movie, and it's like, oh, this, you know, and I hadn't seen it. I was like, okay, and I looked it up, and I was like, I could buy it on iTunes, but it was like $20 because, you know, like iTunes is like either everything's $1 or that it's $25. It's no in between.
So,
and I couldn't find it, and I couldn't find any streaming services. At that point, I think I had Netflix, like the equivalent to HBO Max over here. I had like all that shit at that one time.
And it wasn't anywhere.
Like
you couldn't watch it anywhere.
Any of them. And I looked it up, and I could get the Blu-ray for, I think it was $8. So I got the Blu-ray. I just ordered the Blu-ray online, boom, and I was able to watch it.
So I think what happens,
and I keep it physically, before, so if I want to watch it again, it doesn't get taken away.
And if you're disconnected from the internet for whatever reason, you have it as well.
Yeah.
So, one thing that these channels do, and it's so disingenuous, and I wish that they would stop doing it, is a lot of these movie math people purposely leave out rebates and discounts that movies get when they are made. So, for example, if a movie has $100 million budget and they film in a city that has a tax cut, they may save like 10 million or 15 million or something on that. And then that subtracts from the production cost. And I've looked this up. Quantumania almost saved $40 million in incentives during filming, which means you take that total budget and then you subtract the 40 million. And then you have to take into account partnerships with brands, product placement, things like that. There's so many things that come off of that production budget that does not get included in anybody's numbers, because a lot of times we don't even know for sure 100%. So when they talk about that, they want to include, oh, well, the theaters took 50% of this and they did this and they did that. Well, why aren't you subtracting the tax incentives? Why aren't you including all of the rebates that they made off of filming in certain locations and things you get for like, you know, for the way you film on set, discounts you get for environmental incentives and stuff like that. There's so many things they save money on that doesn't get included in that movie math. This is why I tell people to stop obsessing about this stuff. Like these things don't make, just wait until they announce a sequel or they don't announce a sequel. The only reason people complain and argue about these numbers so violently online is because they want to build a narrative around them. That's why I will never, ever defend a movie that I like based on how much money it makes at a box office. I will never do that. And I'll also never say I hate a movie based on how much money it makes at the box office. That number only matters to the studios. That's the only person it should matter to. So yeah, sorry, I had to get on my soapbox for a second. All right, before we head out, I do want to talk about the plans for the channel for the rest of this year, moving into next year. So Pagey and I have talked a little bit about this. For me personally, I am not excited about making videos that are just bullshit videos. Like, I don't want to make constant theories videos about stuff on Reddit and things like that. I just find it to be very reductive to you're laughing, but people do that. Like, I don't want to make videos about stuff that people read on Reddit and things like that. So I very much love streaming, but I hate sitting down and writing a script for a video that I know is just made to get people to click on it. I don't like doing that. Yeah, like that's not what I want to do with my channel. So what I want to do, and hopefully you guys will be cool with this because I think it's a really good idea, and again, Paige and I have talked about it, is I want to start just streaming multiple times during the week and then having those streams available for people to watch later, like just leaving them up for people to come back and watch as best they can. Like, obviously today's stream will be available, but there'll be trailers clipped out of it because I don't have any choice. But if you want to come and watch the streams, you can. And that's kind of what I want to do. So if there's breaking news, I might do a stream that day talking about it instead of making a 4-minute video reading the article to you guys, because you can read. You don't need me. You don't need me to just read the articles to you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't have anything to add and I'm just delivering news, like, what the fuck is the point? Why am I going to make a 6-minute video to talk about a 2-minute topic? So I really, really want to just start doing live streams and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I want to do. And so those are things that I'm going to focus on. I'm going to start reworking it or whatever and figuring it out. I will return to like reviews and stuff like next year. Let's see. Did you send a super chat earlier? Wait, who said that? Yeah. We're gonna do that one. The one from Staggervore. I have it over here. It's highlighted. They highlight automatically now, or they save automatically now, so I don't miss them. But anyway, so basically with my channel, that's what I'm gonna do moving forward. I hope you guys are cool with that because I really want to be more engaging with people. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So look, Action Pack goes, making 6-minute videos about 2-minute topics is what all YouTube. Well, yes, but I don't want to be all YouTubers. That's the thing. There's too many channels doing that. Like, you guys can subscribe to other channels that are doing the same thing. I want to do something more meaningful. I want to go
Airrick
live.
wants to be, as we've talked before, he wants to be the Keemstar of this niche.
That's true. That's true. I want to go live so I can directly chat with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have to leave a comment. I want to have videos like this where we're talking about stuff and I can pull up comments and I can interact with you guys and you can support the channel, you know, here live and whatever. So that's kind of what I want to do. What are you laughing about now? You got Ben behind you. So Eric, it looks like you're sitting in the chair with Ben. It looks like you're sitting in the chair with him. That's fucking
should I be
hilarious.
sus and hop up and down, or should I avoid that?
Do not do that, please. So that's what we're gonna do moving forward. So
let's just pretend Ben is Santa. I can't put my arm around him, but like I could do this. Wait, like hold on.
Let's see
it
here.
disappears. I was gonna fiddle with his nose. Anyway.
Another issue nobody's talking about is the advertising promotion of MCU's Agatha series. Too much effort seems to be put into a series. I think Agatha's going to do really well, actually.
I am sort of I'm assuming that's what Sean's suggesting. I don't give a shit about that show.
Yeah,
I don't know why that show's being made.
But I think the people that are excited about it are definitely going to watch. Like the people that
people just go like, are they? I'm assuming they've made it just under the hope that like just the WandaVision fans go, or like there's an expectation it continues the WandaVision story.
Catherine Hahn has a very big fan base, and I think they're hoping that her fans will tune in for the series. That's what I think they're hoping for.
Yeah, okay.
I
just see it. I'm like, I don't see.
I think they're going to introduce some character, like some young Avenger characters. I think Wiccan is probably going to be introduced in that too, and so they're hoping that's going to also drive people in. I'm going to watch it. I think it's good. I loved Agatha and WandaVision, so I'm going to watch it. And most of the people that I know that like WandaVision are going to watch it. I'm guessing they're going to ramp it up, and I'm assuming it's going to be released. I don't know if they've already announced the dates because I know it keeps changing, but I'm guessing they're probably going to release it around Halloween, most likely. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So we have one more super chat here from Staggervore, 49 super chat. David Zaslav recently mentioned that shutting down completed projects was a courageous move, which is BS. What's your take on it? I think it's dumb. There's nothing courageous about it.
What do you mean courageous? Like he took a bullet or something? Like no.
That's the way he was talking. Yeah, he was acting like it took a lot of like. Look, there's a reason why
Whitney Houston.
Yes. Right. Well,
sing it.
No.
Oh, he considered it. We were close. He considered it. Usually we get a straight up no, but there was like a second or two of contemplating there.
I was
next time. I'll try next time, I guess.
But here's the deal. David Zaslav is a supervillain. He's the one that started all this bullshit with tax write-downs and tax write-offs and all that. And he's the one that started the trend of people pulling shows down off the streaming services to save money on health insurance for workers. This person, there's nothing courageous about him. He's probably the most slimy, no spine person in the industry. And the issue is that the IRS is already onto this. I mean, we've already talked about it. They're considering investigating this stuff because it's basically like if you own a business, right? And you're like, I need money, and I would make more money off of insurance than I would off of keeping my business going. So I'm going to pretend like my business gets burned down and I'm going to set the fire myself, right? And then you do that and you get your big insurance check. You call it a day. They've already admitted that their entire reason for writing this stuff off is because they can make more money doing that than actually putting it out. And guess what? Yeah. That's fraud. That is fraud. Because the projects are finished and they're writing them off specifically because they want to make money off of them. They're trying to use loopholes, and the IRS is like, we're not going to do that anymore. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with this, because if they investigate this and find out that they are taking finished projects that are totally good to move forward and just not putting them out simply to make money, which is what they've said, they've already admitted to this, it's going to be bad news for them.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, before we leave, Eric, I'll ask you first, and then I'll give mine. do you have a show/movie recommendation for the people?
For like right now?
Well, they don't have to watch it right now, but
No, I mean
they
like
can
something
watch
that's on right now is what you're saying. Is that
well, either or, whether maybe it recently came out or just something you watched recently.
I would say
like, oh,
Monarch,
maybe not like
Monarch,
this.
the Godzilla prequel.
I'm waiting for
movie
all that
or
to come
whatever,
out.
so.
I saw some clips though, and it just looks like the movie quality.
It's
So I'm
really high quality, extremely
Yeah.
high quality. So I would say that, and I haven't seen Godzilla -1 yet, but I've heard it's really good, so I can't recommend it. But people are saying it's really good, so if you want to take a chance on it, you can. But I will say Monarch, the Legacy of Monsters show on Apple TV is my recommendation. I think it's really good. The first 4, I think it's 4 episodes right now. Kurt Russell's in it, so there you go.
My recommendation is that show. You can click it down there. Came out. I thought it was an Australian one, but it actually is it's an American documentary, but it came on Netflix over here in Australia. But it's on HBO Max.
Is it a true crime? Is it a real story?
Yeah, it's like a documentary thing. I think it's just like a movie length. I don't think it's episodes, but it's really good. I'd never heard of it before, but apparently like it was this big thing. But it's like in this small Australian town where there's only 9. Well, there were 9 people and a dog. That was it. 9 people and a dog. And then one night, that main guy with the hat there, him and his dog just disappeared. So it went from 9 people down to 8, and all those 8 people, and the all older people, became suspects.
It's almost like a game of Clue. Like
it's literally that. The dog. I thought it was going to be boring. I thought it was it's just a small town and everything. Like it's like, and it's like super interesting. And they still like you got to like I think it's really really good.
Okay.
Like an easy one to watch. Yeah, and I thought it was just really good. That's my recommendation. It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
America.
So moving forward, I will still be streaming on Saturdays. The topics we could even do like trailer roundups on Saturdays, like just look at the trailers that come out during the week and see what we think about them. Like it's really just going to be whatever. So you can join us every Saturday until the after party returns, which will be whenever Superman and Lois start promoting and whenever Canada Graphs get some set photos. So then we'll see how that goes. But anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out, and I will see everyone